Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining TalentCorp Career Comeback Program for Women. My name is Mei Chong and I will be your host today. We have reached our third and final segment for today's topic is Hardtalk interview. Sarah will be sharing about Malaysia's employment outlook. For those of you who have joined us for our first and second segment, thank you so much for your participation. And for those of you who have just joined us for today, welcome and we hope that you will benefit from it. Today's event is part of TalentCorp's initiative to promote women comeback to workforce. Now, I would like to invite Dalila from TalentCorp to say a few words. Over to you, Dalila.
Thank you, May. Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. First and foremost, I would like to thank our partner, Hunters Search and Leaderboard. Thank you so much for collaborating with us for this program. It has been quite a journey. We have already I say this is the third session of the Career Comeback Program workshop, I would say. And this topic is very much relatable to current scenario and in current environment when you guys are looking out for jobs out there. The Hardtalk interview, any Hardtalks is, I would say, an important aspect of any interviews and any conversations out there. So, ask Sarah questions, ask me questions, you can ask Jason questions about it because they are the experts here. I'm just here to facilitate the program, but they are the experts. They will tell you the hard truth, and please gain a lot of all the expertise and also the experience from them. And then I would like again to thank everybody for your commitment as well for this webinar. So I will not talk so much anymore about this, but I will just hand it over to Sarah and me and Jason. Thank you guys. So have a good webinar and please gain as much as possible because this is once in a lifetime kind of interview, the Hardtalk, which is very important for you guys. All the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Dalila. Thank you so much for the promotion. Okay, we have the pleasure to have Jason Wong with us today. Jason Wong is the director and founder of Hunters Search. Hunters Search is recognized as Malaysia's top 10 recruitment company. Welcome, Jason, and over to you.
Thank you very much, May. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me today to this career comeback program organized by TalentCorp, Hunters Search, and Leaderboard. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what Hunters Search is all about. Hunters Search is a wholly owned subsidiary of Hunters International Seneberhad. As May mentioned, is one of the leading recruitment firms in Malaysia. So in Hunters Search, we actually provide recruitment services encompass many different areas in recruitment, such as contract staffing, permanent. We also provide recruitment process outsourcing, RPO, talent mapping, and also headhunting. So in terms of our recruitment services that we provide, we actually cover 36 different industries throughout Malaysia and also within the region, as well as we actually support in many types of functions like sales, marketing, IT, HR, and many more functions, even technical and engineering as well. So we actually, if you want to know more about Hunters Search in particular, you can actually log in to www.hunters-in.com. Currently in our website, we have roughly 400 to 500 job openings or vacancies throughout Malaysia and also in overseas. You can actually go and check it out. And if there's any opportunity that suits you, please apply. And also you can liaise with our team or consultants to actually know more about the job opportunity. Yeah. Or if you are not able to contact them, you actually can contact us, myself, or even me to actually find out more about the roles that we have in the company. Yeah. So without further ado, I will pass it back to May and let us go through this presentation. And I'm so excited to know more about what's the Hardtalk is all about as well.
Jason, me too, right? Okay. Our trainer for today is Sarah Tan. Sarah Tan is the CEO of Leaderboard Consulting, and she is also a certified trainer. Okay, let us give Sarah Tan a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, May. Thank you, Jason. I'm excited to be here this morning. To participate in the Career Comeback Program for Women, which is so much close to my heart, right? Yeah, because I have been there, gone through there, experienced it as well, where you're out of job and what you wanted to do, right? So I'm just going to share a bit about my experience, first, then I talk about Leaderboard, right? So I started my career right after graduation as a HR executive. As you can see, my career journey in the corporate world took me 26 years. I've joined a local company, peer development when I started. Then I moved on to join GE, General Electric, USA. After that, and I spent about 5 years there, and I moved on to another US company, Johnson Controls, that about 1 year plus, and I spent a lot of my time in BMW. Yeah, that was where I spent about 16 years in my career, also in HR, but moved on to different roles like coaching, and finally my last job was with them as head of regional training center, managing a P&L regional training center, running trainings, technical and non-technical, for the region and Asia Pacific markets. That's where my career ended in a corporate story, because I took, they had a restructuring, and I was lucky in a way, because I think after 16 years, you decided that you wanted to move on and do something else, right? So the package comes in handsomely, and I decided, it's time to part ways with BMW and move on to something different. After 16 years, I think probably is overdue as well. So then I came to a crossroad, right? Like many of you, some of you maybe, going through this experience, like me, right? But I've worked for 26 years, okay? So for me, it's like, do I still want to spend the next 10 years in corporate world? Or do I really want to do something different, right? I've tasted corporate world, I've been at the top of my career, and I know that if I go back to corporate world doing the same HR, it was still going to be the same. But I left in 2019 not knowing COVID is going to come my way, right? But I also decided that I want to do differently. So I want to do something meaningful for myself. I want to spend more time with my family, and I know I have a passion again for coaching, mentoring people, and helping people really, to pass on what I know to help people, right? And I want to enjoy the fruit of my labors. I don't wait until I'm very old, then you start to travel around the world. But of course, this last part doesn't came to doesn't materialize because of the COVID-19. Right, but then I think I still able to fulfill the 3 other parts of what I wanted to do. Okay, so decided that corporate goal career is not going to be my path. So come 2020, I decided to call upon my friend May Chong. She runs, of course, the Hunters Search International firm, and I said I wanted to do recruitment. I wanted to do something helping people, because this was the time where a lot of my friends was also retrenched. So not only me, but also a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I know got retrenched. They are looking out for jobs. So I thought this is something where I can really help people, right? So this is where I took a freelance role as a consultant, recruiting people. And I really enjoyed this time, because not only that it gave me flexible time, it gives time for my family, but also I'm able to help people to recruit, get to know other clients, to reach out to clients, doing sales job, talking about what they should be, helping people as well to solve problems. Then I decided that this year, because I get to work with a lot of clients, and sometimes have come back to me and said, they want me to do some trainings, right? So they came and approached me, because I had training experience before, especially in the automotive, right? So I have clients approaching me to come to me to do proposals, projects, trainings that they know that which I'm good at, right? Because I have a lot of connections with trainers as well. So this is where I started together, of course, with my partners, May and Jason, right? We started Leaderboard Consulting. So Leaderboard Consulting is a training, coaching, and consulting firm where we focus on helping business, right, to increase their business profit, through people development. Yeah. So this is our main focus. This is our value that we want to sell it to our customers. And I think it has been a good journey for a start, right? And when TalentCorp came and approached us to actually talk about career comeback for women, this is actually a very good opportunity for us because it's in line with our objective as well. All right. So for today, we're going to talk about Hardtalk interview, right? Hardtalk is basically, we're just going to talk about what's the reality of the job market in Malaysia right now. We want to give you insights about what employers are looking for in a candidate and what skills are in high demand in today's job market. And what are the changes, expectations from employers? Because not only that, you know how to write a CV, not only that you know how to go for an interview, but you also must have an insight, right? What's out there, so that this can help you in terms of managing your expectation when you go in for an interview, and what question to ask your potential employer as well. Okay. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask us, please go to slido.com, right? You can scan through your phone QR code, or you can also use your browser in your computer. Just type slido.com and key in the code 059965. We will take all the questions from there at the end of the training, right? So only questions from Slido, we will answer those questions, subject to, of course, time availability. Yeah. If not, then we will also actually do a video to answer all these questions, and we post it in the YouTube channel as well. Okay. So let's start right for today's workshop. So I want to ask a question to everyone in this webinar right now. What has changed in today's business landscape? Right? Before we go into understand the job market, we must understand what has changed in the business landscape. Yeah, so that's important. We know that in today's business landscape, disruptive technologies has overtaken many business processes, right? Decreasing purchase power because our money value has dropped. There's a shifting consumer behavior because consumers are no longer, going into research or walk into the retail showroom anymore. We can get a lot of information from the internet before they actually buy or make a decision before they buy a product, right? And also there are a lot of new business models that's coming up in the market. And also you can see there's a lot of emerging aggressive players, all right, that's coming to compete with businesses that are already stable for a very long time. And there's also many digitization that's going on. Changing consumer segment, cost pressure to lower cost supply. You can see that even for the business, right, it's very competitive. They need to really find suppliers to localize either the parts, to find OEMs or suppliers that can provide low cost, right? So, and also there's also political uncertainty. And of course, we know there's the global war that's happening between China and US. The shift has changed a lot. Yeah. So this definitely will impact the job market, and why, you can understand, the demand, the selection process, the hiring process that company is looking at, right? So because of these disruptive technologies. Okay. So let's define what is disruptive, right? Disruptive means there's a new product or services that create a new market, right? And of course, this new market then significantly destroys and weakens the existing markets or suppliers. So that's a disruption, right? So let's look at some of what I call a business disruptions, right? In the past, we have Kodak. So maybe you can write in the chat. So what has overtaken Kodak now today? Anyone knows? Can someone type in the chat group, that we can see? Anyone knows what has taken over Kodak? Do we still need Kodak now? Do you go in and walk to a retail store and buy a Kodak? Yeah? Yes, smartphones. Correct. Smartphones. Or we call it digital pictures. That's correct. Digital pictures. We no longer need camera now, Everybody use handphone and take pictures, right? So it's even faster. Let's talk about taxi. What about taxi? Right? Do you now see taxi, and stand on the roadside and hear a taxi? What do? Grab, correct. You call Grab, you just go to Grab and they come and, they wait for you in front of your door, right? What about Blockbuster Video? I used to remember I go to this video store and rent a video, Wow, Netflix. That's correct. Everyone is on Netflix, right? You just sit in front of your house and you can watch your movies. What about tower records? We used to have a tower records in Bukit Bintang. Some of you remember and you visited there. What is the business strategy of tower records? Spotify. Yes, you sign up Spotify. Oh, you can get many songs. Yeah, you don't have to go to a shop anymore. What about this? This is a map. This, whenever I see it, I love it because I know I'm very bad, in looking at map and finding my directions. Yes, Waze. Waze has helped so many people, even like myself, to venture out. Last time, I tell you, my fear is going out because I know my direction is the worst. But with Waze, I'm willing to even go and meet customers because I know I won't get lost. Yeah. What about hotel? Right? These days, if you don't have a hotel, what do? You go Airbnb. Yes, correct. Airbnb. Yeah. And of course, from the automotive, right? I have to put this in because I'm from automotive. We have a lot of combustion engine cars. What's coming up now? We hear many people talk about it. What's coming up? Tesla. Yes, Tesla is electrical vehicle, and this is going to really come to the market, right? You can see countries are going to electrical because of environmental consciousness, right? So this is a big initiative. So with all these changes, right, we also know there's an ever increasing digital users, right, in numbers of billions. Let's look at this chart, right? There's 7.7 billion of population. Digital user surveys, that's just last year. We have internet users of 4.3 billion, mobile social media users of 3.2 billion, active social media is 3.5 billion in the world, and unique mobile users is 5.1 billion. So you can imagine everybody is on social internet somewhere or another, and this is the big market. And every company, every business, you need to jump in. If not, then you're a fool. You're not here. You're in the business because you want to make profit, right? I always mention business are there to make profit, right? So they have to find every way to make profit and how to tap to these consumers that are now very digital savvy. Okay, look at this. What's the reality on the ground? Amazon disrupt retail with new department stores. So department stores is going to be done away with, After COVID-19, you will see many shops going to close down because everybody's going to sell through Amazon or Alibaba. Look at how car salesmen, how the Alibaba tied up will change the way cars are sold in China. China is going to start this, yeah? And I think it's happening now, right? We are already seeing used cars are all going to internet, but we're going to see new car. People are going to buy new car through internet already. Even digitalization key for retail sectors are emerging, right? Look at supply chain adoption as well. So if you're in a supply chain business, all this inventory optimization is going to automate the process. So what's going to happen to human, right? Human like us, manpower like us, the workforce will be reduced because it's going to be replaced by robots or some automation that they're going to do, right? But then human like us or people like us, right, we're going to upskill ourselves. We have to retrain ourselves so that we can be useful, we can still be productive, yeah, and company can still use our knowledge and skills to do something different. Okay, so Jack Welch says that if the rate of change on the outside exceeds the rate of change on the inside, the end is near. And that's really true. And that's why companies all have to quickly change. But that also applies to us, right? We also have to change. Otherwise, we're just going to be redundant, right? So consequences is the impact has on the job skills and knowledge have shifted to meet the change in business disruption, right? And COVID-19 just make it worse. It accelerated the whole entire process of this business disruption. Remember, this business disruption don't happen in COVID-19. It has already started 10 years even before that, where we see, but it was slow, it was just taking its time, but COVID-19 just accelerated the whole entire digitization, business disruption. Look at this chart from the World Economic Forum, right? It accelerated the digitalization of work processes has just gone up high, 84%, right? And accelerate the automation of tasks, accelerate the of upscaling, rescaling, right? even the way how people work now has changed. In the past, I want to tell a story, being a HR person, I remember way back when 2003, I proposed a benefit to my managing director. I said, let's propose a benefit where the employees can take one day in a week when they can work from home, And my MD looked at me with big eyes and said, are you sure, Sarah? You know what these people will do? They will sit at the swimming pool, and then pretending to work. Then, so of course, my whole idea got shot down, right? But can you imagine, with COVID-19, nobody's going to tell me this one. And everybody will just adopt and everybody is working from home, right? And we know that even a lot of companies are probably going to keep these, and allow employees to work from home because there's tools available now, right, for them to do it. And also managers are probably seeing that, it has some benefit impact, right, in terms of cost reductions or, office downsizing, the space and things like this. So yeah, work from home now is a norm, right? It's a new norm. Okay, but you can see that a lot of changes has taken place, right, in the business world, right? Especially in terms of reducing workforce, right? Some are doing temporarily reducing workforce to wait and see, right? But some are actually doing a permanent reduction of workforce. Okay, so these are the changes that's coming the way. So how does this change impact Malaysia job market? Let's take this closer to home, right, and see what's the situation in our market. Right? Some of you have seen this probably in the Star newspaper, because I picked this up from Star. Let's look at some of the jobs here, right? You can see the rising jobs in Malaysia. Yeah, digital content job, software and technology. In fact, when Jason says we have about 400 over positions, I would frankly say is that half of it, 50% of the jobs are actually IT jobs, software jobs, digital jobs, right? Digital marketing jobs that is in the e-commerce, right? But we also see there are jobs that are stable, that will not change even whatever circumstances you are in, especially sales, business development. So if you're interested in business development and sales, you will find that your job will be there because business will definitely need salespeople, business people, to grow their business, right? Because it's a revenue generating job. But we also see jobs like customer service. That's still very important, right? But of course, the process could be different, right? But we also see jobs that are outsourced. So if you are a businessman, right, you probably will outsource these kind of jobs to a third party, right? And we also see supply chain is in high demand right now because of the logistic requirements, right? So these roles are actually in demand. But some jobs that are stable are still like real estate, legal. But it's interesting to see beauty advisor is there, and also mental health. Mental health apparently is a job that is also increasing right now because of the way the work culture has changed, the demand has changed. Employees are stressed because they have to work from home, but also some of them are doubling the role, because of lack of resources. They are now working 2-person job. Yeah, so mental health is an important issue now in a lot of companies. And translator, yes, we have actually a lot of jobs looking for different experts in different languages, right? Because companies are outsourcing to a lower market, so they are looking at people to speak Japanese, even Korean, even Thai, even Vietnamese. So this, if you have a skill in language, right, this will be a good job for you to start with. So let's look at jobs like coming from the employer perspective, right? So we want to know what are the most difficult roles that they are currently facing in hiring, because this will give you an insight into whether these jobs are scarce or oversupply in the market. So accountancy and finance is always a stable job, right? Because finance is, the money currency, right? In every business, you're making money, you're making profit. So you definitely need an accountant or finance guy, right? And you can see, from middle to senior to management level, right? There's always challenging finding good accountant, good finance manager, right? Next is engineering. Yes, engineering is still a very key role, right? Where it's still very highly in demand, and the supply in the market is still quite scarce for our country, right? So you can see from entry middle to the middle management level. IT, definitely, right? From middle, entry to middle and middle management level are still a key challenge for many, because IT is very specific. Yeah, we put here IT, but in IT there's many scope, right? Area, specialization that companies are looking for, right? And it changed so fast, right? Today you're doing Python, next you're doing JavaScript, and after that you're doing Android. So there's so many areas, and because of the changing landscape in IT, right, the knowledge and skills need to be updated very fast for all the people. Let's talk about marketing, digital, and operations. This is also an area where we find challenges in hiring, right? All across the level, from middle management up to even senior management. And sales. Yes, sales is always, a job that everybody, if you're good in sales, you can sell anything in the sky, yeah. Businesses will want you, right? Because they have a product or they have a services, they just need somebody to go and sell. But of course, not everybody is a good salesman, right? Yeah, so finding a good salesman is always going to be a challenge too, right? So these are the jobs that employers are finding difficulty in hiring. So this is also good news for you. So if you're looking at, okay, what job do you want to apply? What career transition you're looking for? This gives you some insight into what areas you should actually, transition to, right? Where you have a higher chance of getting employed by companies. So let's touch now on skills, right? We talked about skills before in the workshop too as well, right? But here, just to give you an insight, right? Specifically, what kind of skills are employees looking out? There's hard skills and soft skills. So for the soft skills, right, employees are really looking into areas of problem solving, right? Employees who can do team working, verbal communication is always the key, critical thinking, and interpersonal skills, right? So you need to work on these 5 areas, and I think you will do well in the interview, right, and be hired by an employer. So these are the 5 skills, soft skills that are important for every employer. In terms of hard skills, we are looking at project management, right? Because project can be many things, whether you're doing big project or small project, but for every project, yeah, you need to have that project management skills, because that's involved around people, interactions, interfaces, with stakeholders, with customers, or even within your own department, right? You need to have a hard skills of data mining, statistical, analytical thinkings, and foreign language fluency is also a skills that employees are looking for. And of course, your computer skills and a good degree qualifications. Yeah. So this is the hard skills area where employers are looking out. And I just want to also share with you some of the training skills from LinkedIn, because that was from Hey. But LinkedIn is compiling this as well from their database, right? From people, employers who actually submit their job recruitments in LinkedIn. So you can see it as well. Project management is top. So you see there's a match, right? Yeah. From the information that I gather from LinkedIn and from Hayes. Yeah. Project management, Adobe Illustrator, JavaScript, AutoCAD, sales management. Yeah. Higher education is always a demand. Project planning, again, teaching. Yeah. There's a lot of jobs, skills looking into being a trainer, teaching. Yeah. Because upscaling, remember, business landscape has changed and everyone has to upskills and upgrade your skills and knowledge. So employers are also looking into trainers, how they can train people into upscaling their knowledge and skills of their employees, right? Project engineering, recruiting. Recruiting is a training skills, yeah. Be surprised, yeah. You can make money out from recruitment as well. So marketing strategy, accounts payable, auditing, engineering again, analytical skills again, yeah. Audit, curriculum development, this is again on training, right? Statistical process, this is still again on analytical skills, and customer service experience. So these are the top training skills where from the LinkedIn information they are sharing with us. So this is from the last 3 months ending May. So it's very recent. It's a very recent training skills that you can find information here. Then if you're a manager, right? You're a leader, you need to have these new 8 critical skills in the VUCA world, right? VUCA means volatile, uncertainty, yeah, and it's complex, yeah, and also adaptability. You need to call that, work in this VUCA world. You need to have these 8 skills, right? First is the new norm of leadership. What type of new norm of leadership you must do, right? You must have a change management skills, understanding. You need to have an influencing skills. You need to be able to learn new things, right? Learnability must be there, yeah. Resilience, right? With all the challenges facing you left and right everywhere, right? You need to be resilient to drive your team forward. Then also you need to have a high order thinking skills. This actually covers problem solving, design thinking, whatever not, right? Because as a leader, you need to be able to provide solutions, problems, solve customer problem fast. Agility, you need to work in a very agile manner, agile process where things are arranged in a different manners, and you need to be able to move and shift decision structure process fast as well. And of course have an emotional intelligence, abilities. That's very important, right? In order to empathize with your employee, in order to understand your team environment, your management, the culture of your company. Okay, so this is the 8 critical skills for leaders in the VUCA world, right? So do you have it or you don't, right? But this is where the employer is going to assess you, interview you, right, to see whether you fit into their requirements in today's business landscape. Okay, so let's take a look at the job market outlook. Knowing the skills, you understand what are the jobs that is in training right now. But let's take a look at the reality in the job market outlook in Malaysia market, right? Where we are today. So if you look at the data here, right? So I'm just going to point. So before COVID-19, unemployment rate is about 3.3%. But of course after that it shoot up to 5.1. Then Q3, Q4 it came down, and it hasn't really settled down to the level before COVID-19. So we are still in a way unemployment rate is still very high. I would say at 4.8. And in terms, if you look at the by age group, all age group are affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. Not only the senior people, but you can see especially those active unemployed. We have many of them actually from age 25 and above, right? In this group here, in the blue group, right? And then for 35 to 44, you have around this group is also quite a big number. If you look at Q1, this has gone up to about 104,000, right? 104,000. And if you look at those from 45 to 54 age, we have about 58,000. From 55 to 64, there's about 60 over 1,000. So that is really a lot in our Malaysian market, because our populations are not high, but then these numbers actually is a lot for us in Malaysian market. Look at this, it's about 82.9%. Active unemployed means you are active, you are actually able to work, but you are unemployed, right? So that tells us that the market is still very soft at this moment. Okay. Then if we go into the gender, right? So if you look at the gender number, it's almost quite close, right? The male gender is about 56%, the female gender is about 43%, right? And numbers has not, although it shows that July, August especially has come down, but July it shoot up to about 6,000, but you can see the numbers, if you add up all, it's still relatively high. So what we can say that, the market, the loss of employment are still pretty high at this moment. And if you look at the industry sector, from manufacturing, wholesale, professional technical, accommodation, F&B, ICT, constructions are still on the high side, right? In terms of loss of employment. That means they are still retrenching people are still redundant in this sector, all right? In terms of occupation as well, you can see a lot of professionals are also losing their job at this moment. Associate professionals, even those with skills like technicians, managers. So generally, if you look at this data, it's not very good. That means loss of employment remain high in our market, in our country, right? The situation is still pretty soft for employment to come back, right? But having said that, yeah, I have good news. Of course, on the other hand, we also see that there's an increase in job demand. Yeah, so vacancies has also opened up. Yeah, you can see in July and August especially, it has shoot up pretty high to 120,000 job vacancies, right? But many of these job vacancies are, of course, either lower category jobs, as you can see in manufacturing, constructions, some of these roles, right? Factory hand, marketing assistant. So, but it's good news, right? And these manufacturers are open up because the government has opened up more industry sectors to open up their business. So we will see in September, this is also going to be improved. So on the other hand, there are industries that are still closed, or they are more careful. But on the other hand, we also see companies are slowly opening up, to hire people. Okay. So this is from LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn are more professional jobs, career, right? If you're managers and above or qualified engineers, you usually go to LinkedIn. And what tells us that, if you can see in LinkedIn, you have companies like Essentials. If you look at some of these companies, a lot of it are actually IT related companies like Essential, Concentric, Shopee is an e-commerce platform, ByteDance, TDCX is actually a contact center, but they focus a lot on customer service support as well. Then interestingly, you also have a lot of banks are hiring. Yeah, banks are hiring. Mostly are also towards into business analysis, data management, because they are more into converting payment systems and things like that, right? But they're also looking to business development people. So this is very new. This is just 3 months ending May, right? So these are what you can see are the top training employers that are hiring right now. All right, so you can actually go directly to their website, to their page, and see what kind of jobs they actually advertise, right? Or you can also search in LinkedIn some of these companies. Yeah, you can see in this chart to see what are the jobs they actually advertise for employment. In terms of jobs, right? As you can see here as well, you have software engineers top the list. Yeah. Then you have also content moderator, marketing, and HR are very highly in demand. So yes, HR is right now because of the process, right, of COVID-19 pandemic, the welfare employees are the top priority for a lot of companies. Accounts, as I said, these are all stable jobs, right? HR, accounts, sales, yeah, project, yeah. So okay. Then I also want to touch on salary, right? The job trending, what companies are hiring, but you also need to know what is the sentiment out there now from employer, right? In terms of salary, are they willing to pay high? Is there still a demand for high salary? Paying high salary bonus. So this is from Hayes, right? For 2021 salary, survey that they carry out, right? As you can see, a lot of companies are not increasing salary. Means remains stay the same. That means salary either, they have no deduction nor they increase salary. Yeah, so they just everybody probably will get the same salary as last year and this year. But there's about 6% or so, are decreasing. That means they reduce the salary. And you have some about 25 to 23, percentage are giving some sort of increment, right? But you can see the percentage are not very high, right? For more than 10%, you only get about 3% company that willing to get it. But maybe these are, I would usually say, are for people who are going for additional job responsibility, or they give a promotion, or they're exceptional star performer, right? But this survey came out somewhere in April, right? So if situation and market hasn't really changed much for company, you can see that these numbers will even go up in terms of staying the same, or even decrease, or this percentage of up to 3%, from 3% to 6% will also reduce, right? So take a look at the Malaysia scene. Yeah, so that was just general, because this is a survey done throughout different markets. For Malaysia, also is actually quite the same. The data tell us as well, right? yeah, you can see here, in April, so they say next 12 months means coming to 2022, the numbers has increased from 42%, right? Where you can see a lot of companies are just frozen the salary increment, right? Even, very little numbers are actually giving more than 10%, right? Even from 6 to 10% are also very small number of companies. Right? So this tells us that if you are going out there to the market and you want to ask for salary, for your job, right? You need to be sensitive, right? Because a lot of employers are taking steps, right, to either force salary, to reduce salary, and you don't come in and say, I want a 25% increment, I want a 20% job, because if not, I won't want to join. So we need to be sensitive to this. Even with bonuses offered as well. Yeah. Of course, companies that do not give increments, usually they will compensate this with bonus. So you can see the bonus are still there, right? With 55% of the company are still providing bonus, right? Or some sort of bonus, yes, but for less staff, right? All the selected staff that they will provide bonus. Yes, but for lower amounts, yeah. So these are some changes that we actually do. Okay. So conclusion is job market outlook is still very soft. Yeah. Employers are cautious and still in hiring freeze. Yeah. Because they do not know what's going to happen. As you can see, some cases in certain countries are coming back. Australia is doing lockdown again. US is also, China is as well. Yeah. Malaysia cases hasn't really gone down. Yeah. So situations are still very soft. Right. Increment is frozen and reduced. So this is the reality on the ground right now. Right. So knowing this, if you're going to come back, as a career comeback woman, yes, you have to prepare yourself with all your resumes, right, your interview skills, right, but with this knowledge, right, when you are in front of the employer, you need to have display an attitude. Yes, I will meet the demands of the employer, right, because you want to come back to work, so you must be prepared to meet the demands of the employer, all right, to put in long hours. I have a lot of friends. Of course, my friends are mostly in HR, but also I have people who work in operations, senior management. They are working long hours, because one is there's reduced staff in the company, so many people have to take up maybe some additional roles, right? And you have to put in long hours to work, So if you don't like it, then you leave. That's the reality in the market right now. And some have to take on additional responsibilities. So you must be prepared if you want to come back to work, right? Because if you have a gap of 1 or 2 years, right, sometimes this kind of challenges that face you can take a toll on you, because you just come back to work and suddenly you have to put in additional responsibility or taking long hours. So you make sure that your family situation is well settled, right? Because it's not going to be like before, right, where you can work time 9 to 5, clock in and clock out. You may, if you can find some jobs like this, but of course they are not well paid, right? Because you clock in 9 to 5 and then you go out and eat. Accept a lower salary with the same responsibilities, right? Maybe last time a manager for the same role was paid 10,000, but with that same role now, companies are hiring for much lesser pay, right? So are you ready to accept that, right? Without any complaint about the work, to accept work on part-time or on contract, right? You probably cannot find permanent job now because company, it's not, you cannot, it's just that you may not find permanent job as many as now in the market, right? Or some companies may have the job that match your skills and requirements, but they offer you a part-time or a contract, employment. So you have to either accept it or not for this temporary period. Why not, right? Or to accept benefits that may be reduced. They may not give you medical benefits like you used to have, or dental, or benefits that you're looking for, right? So these are certain expectations that you must have. That when you go out there to the market, right, when your mind, heart, and everything is ready, you're more open to accept it without any hesitations, and you're willing to accept those challenges. So this is my, word of advice for you. That's my last slide already, actually, right, on today's Hardtalk interview. Okay, so we are now coming to the last slide here, which is to ask your questions. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can still put your question now into slido.com. while I set up my pull up the questions and see what I have. Yeah, wow, there's quite a lot of questions that's been put in Slido. Let me flash this out on the screen so that everyone can see. I change this to. Okay, so I hope you can see the screen here now. Right, I'll do my best. So we are at 10:45. So I will take question up to about 10:50 or 55. I'll depend on May. May will tell me if you want me to stop. Yeah, I will go through it. So okay, let's take the first one, right? Because it has 3 voting. So I am in my 50s and have been told that it is a challenge for me to get a job. What can I do about it? Don't give up, I would say, 50 doesn't mean you're old. 50 is just a number, right? You still have the skill, you still have the energy, you still have that knowledge that you can share, right? So yes, it's going to be a challenge because, a lot of employers want younger people. It's interesting. I just encountered this. I sent a CV to one of my clients, and then that lady was 48 years old. And that manager came back and asked me, he said, I have a lot of senior people now in my department. He has about, I think, mostly about 45, 46, 47. Then he said he noticed that, people with this age are less energy, not dynamic. And I told him, I said, that's a wrong judgment, or conclusion that he has. I said, doesn't mean that you are 48 or 50, people are losing energy and not dynamic anymore. I said, it all depends on different individual, right? So it all depends on different individuals. So when you go for an interview and if you're at 50, you definitely need to show a bit more enthusiasm, energy, right? When you come for an interview, right? Or to show where you can actually contribute, your skills and knowledge to the company. But usually for people at this age, right, the more senior you are, you actually should be able to share more knowledge and take on more senior position because these skills and knowledge comes with the years of experience that you have. Okay, right? But of course, always have to show that you can learn. Remember, I show you the one of the 8 skills is learnability, right? You don't stop learning, so you must demonstrate that. Okay, I'm at this age, but I'm doing this and this, right? Then they see that you actually not just staying at home, and then the skills that you bring forward is still the same like the past 10 years. So you need to demonstrate that I pick up digital, I take up some certification, I do some training. So these are very important, the learnability part here, all right? And I always believe that even at 50, you can still find a job, all right? So don't give up hope. Second is, very hard for me to get a chance of interview because my ex-boss blacklisted me in the industry. Ooh. Does it mean that that's the end of my career in corporate? I don't think so. Of course, truthfully, it will be a challenge because I do not know which industry you come from, whether it's a very close-knit industry, small industry where everybody knows. I can tell you like in the automotive, right? If you come from automotive, that's going to be a challenge because automotive are very small, in fact, everybody knows who is who in the automotive industry. But somehow rather, of course, you can always go to certain smaller automotive, right, where they don't do reference check, right? Or people may be willing to give you an offer. But usually, you can still find a job if you have the right connection, you have right people that can help you. So it's not going to be an end game for you, right? So, but just don't give up. Continue to look and search for the job, right? I always believe there's always a door opening for you. Maybe not in the same job that you had previously, but try different roles, different industries, right? That people doesn't know you, doesn't know where you come from, right? And always start from a smaller company. Don't go for a big company like MNC because they will always do reference check. But go for maybe SME, because they don't pay for reference check, or they probably are more welcome, as long as they interview you, they like you, they take you on board. Yeah, they trust you. Yeah. So I think, again, don't give up, try your best. Besides applying for jobs and connecting with headhunters, what else can I do? Do something, well, it depends on what is your job skills, right? So if you apply jobs, you connect with hunters and you still can't find any opportunity to attend interview and you're not hired, right? Try to put up your CV, all right, to LinkedIn. I've seen people do the aggressive one. Of course, LinkedIn has open to work, or you can just publish your CV, entire CV into LinkedIn. Hopefully somebody will see you, because there's a lot of hiring managers from companies that actually go through LinkedIn these days, right? Or just put the word of mouth around, telling your friends that you're looking for jobs. I think you need to be a bit thick-skinned, right, to really sell yourself out to people, whoever you know, right? And I'm sure if you keep knocking on the door, right, one door will be open for you. Okay, so find many platforms, either in Facebook, LinkedIn, or going pass your CVs around to friends, actively searching, right? Calling the company as well, if let's say I show you some of the companies that are hiring, like Accenture, call them up, say, hey, I saw this job. So you got to do a lot more cold calling, I would say, cold calling to sell yourself to these companies. Okay, let's move on. I mean, that's my opinion. Unless May or Jason have other tips, please feel free to also share as well. How to negotiate tactfully for fair compensation for the role instead of recruiter or employer pressing salary down reference to the last phase pay. I shared it previously in my last workshop to really tactfully negotiate for a fair salary. I always say use these tips, right, to say that, for example, I really need this salary. Let's say you're asking for 10,000. I always use 10,000 because that's easier, or 5,000, right? So because this is my minimum commitment, right? It's my minimum commitment where I think with this salary, right, I'm able to pay my house, I'm able to pay my car rental, I'm able to pay all other commitments that I have. So I really need this salary range, So I think this is very fair, right? If you tell the employer that, I cannot take lower than 10K because 10K is my minimum, then they will probably consider, that you need to survive, right? You cannot just take 7,000 to 8,000 and then you have to, ride a bicycle to work, because you cannot pay your rental or your education for your kids and things like this. So you just need to say why you need this salary, because it's your minimum commitment, that you can continue to stay alive, or to fulfill all those commitments, that you are currently doing with the banks or something. So I think, for me personally, that's a good reason to give. Okay. Formerly in automotive. Okay, I got my automotive friend here. Then work in a different industry. Applied for automotive industry recent times. Knows how to get interview opportunity. Age. Please call me. Right? Whoever you are, talk to me. Let's see. Because I have, of course, quite a lot of connections in automotive industry, right? And I also have a few clients looking for candidates. So talk to me, contact me, let's have a discussion on how to get an opportunity. Always, of course, sometimes not easy. I do not know how is your age, how old are you, but there are different skills that is required, right, in the automotive industry. Okay. I didn't have a good term with my ex-employer because they dismissed me unfairly. Okay.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
This will be the last question, unfortunately.
Okay.
But don't worry, don't despair. Sarah will be answering the balance of the questions in the follow-up Q&A segment together with Jason Wong. So you have 2 points of views, right? And the segment will be posted up in Leaderboard Consulting YouTube channel. So
Okay,
Sarah, to you for the last question.
All right, so I take this last question. I didn't have a good term with my ex-employer because they dismissed me unfairly, okay? I was star performer and hit my KPI. Oh, that's bad, right? I feel so sorry for you, but I think this is not a question, right? I can understand your feeling, if you are dismissed unfairly. But I hope you have actually take this case to the labor office, and challenge them. If not, then if you don't do it, of course. Yeah, but I think if you think that you have been dismissed unfairly, you must do so to do it. And I hope they pay you well as well, in this case. So I believe this is not a question, right? I'm not sure what you want to ask me here. But if you are a star performer, you hit your KPI, I think that will tell in your CV when you're called for interview. But if you have a case of dismissed unfairly, I'm very sure that if you're interviewed, people ask you why you leave your company, right? There's two ways to the point. If you tell honestly, sometimes this can give a bad impression, because we always say you don't bitch about your previous employer, right? Even though you are dismissed unfairly, don't not vent your anger when in interview, because every employer will feel that, hey, you're going to do the same to me next time, right? So they may not feel comfortable to employ. So you must always say yes. I resigned, or I left the company because I was seeking for new challenges. Yeah. So if they don't ask you further, always put in positive words. Yeah, I'm looking out for different challenges. I'm looking out for new career. I want to try something else. Or you just say, sometimes I tell employees just say there was some restructuring in the company. So I decided that with the restructuring, I do not find myself fitting in the new company structure, and therefore I'm looking out, right? So this is also one good way to find some excuses, right? Reasons, right? Company restructuring is always an important, a good reason for me, I think. Okay, so that's about it for now. For all the Q&A questions and answer, I hope I have answered to your questions, and we look forward to giving our question and session in the YouTube again. Yeah. All right, over to you, May.
Thanks, Sarah. You have actually hit us with hammer after hammers about the facts of life, about the employment situation in Malaysia today and also globally, right?
Yeah.
I am still bracing, and there are a lot of points that we need to ponder upon, right? Especially in terms of us, how do we embrace the Industrial Revolution 4.0 in a VUCA world, in a VUCA environment, right? Okay. But unfortunately, that is the reality today, lah. Don't you think so, Jason and Sarah? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Some of it. One of the reasons why I really enjoyed these sessions with a more mature crowd is that they give us very, very pertinent questions, right? And they give us a very, very realistic questions of what are the situations that they're facing, okay? And as per usual, we would like to answer all the questions, okay? So for whichever questions that we are not able to answer, Sarah, can you just move on to the next slide, please?
This one?
Sorry, it's still stuck at the question.
Okay. Right. Sorry. So I need to share new screen. Okay. My bad.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Just give me a minute. Let me share a different slide. Okay. Good.
Leaderboard Consulting have actually posted up the first segment already that was conducted by Weiling, and also the follow-up segment, the follow-up Q&A segment in Leaderboard Consulting YouTube channel. Do check them out. We will be posting the second segment and the third segment in a very, very short while. Right? And also do follow up with them. Do follow them on their official Facebook page and also their LinkedIn page for any news updates and everything. Okay. Since this is our last segment, really, thank you to all the participants. You have been amazing. Okay, and your questions has actually give us some food for thought. Okay, if you are looking to apply for any jobs or anything like that, as what Jason has mentioned, there are 400 to 500 positions available on this website, and you can also follow Hunters International official page in LinkedIn. Okay. So now we brought us to the end of the session already. Thank you so much to all the participants. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jason Wong. And thank you, TalentCorp, okay, Dalila and also Wafa. And I would like to extend the thanks to the team behind us that enabled this session. So Amanda, thank you so much. Chunming, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
We hope that each and every one of you really enjoyed the session. Jason Swong contact number, contact information, and Sarah Tan's contact information will be provided to all of you. Okay, and this the training today and the slides will be shared in the Leaderboard Consulting YouTube channel. That's it from us today. Please take care, stay well. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.